Welcome to our Energy Connect studio at Gastech 2022. I'm delighted to have sitting next to me Dan Brouillette, President of Sempra Infrastructure. Thank you so much for taking the time out of this busy day two of Gastech to come and speak to me.
Thanks for having me.
Now, obviously at Gastech, so I want to get straight into what you see as the greatest opportunities for gas and LNG in the coming years. It's a bit of a boom time again.
It really is, and some of it is driven by very unfortunate and tragic experiences that we're experiencing here in Europe, but nonetheless, natural gas has a very bright future in Europe as well as around the world. It's a transitional fuel in many respects for developing countries. It's also a baseload power for many countries. So we're excited about the opportunities that we see here at Gastech. We're very excited about the opportunities we see around the world.
Do you see further afield outside sort of other markets that might have interest for your gas?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, as we think about the facilities that we have at Cameron, we obviously have other opportunities there, potential for production of hydrogen, perhaps storage of hydrogen, ammonia as well. And when we look at our Port Arthur facility, it's a very enormous site. We have approximately 3,000 acres there.
Wow.
So we can expand that quite a bit with LNG production,
yep.
But we can also potentially think about hydrogen production there as well. So enormous opportunities well beyond natural gas.
Yeah. And the opportunities you just mentioned there, do you see a need for greater industry collaboration on these different projects, but also looking at these future technologies?
Yeah, well, I think there will be some standardization of the technologies over time. So as we think about hydrogen, we think about potential uses of hydrogen, we think about the basic analysis and color schemes that we've come up with for all of these projects, blue versus green versus turquoise versus other colors. I think the industry can probably come together and begin a process of putting together perhaps what is a quantifiable carbon intensity number. Mm-hmm. Rather than using green and blue and other colors, we can actually just show the carbon intensity of the molecule. And that allows the consumer to make a very rational choice in the marketplace. So, we're excited about that as well, and we look forward to partnering with our industry colleagues to do exactly that.
And obviously on LNG contracts you sort of mentioned there, and obviously Europe may be looking more short term, but obviously capital intensity of these projects sort of look more for the long term. So how do you see that sort of changing?
Well, I think it gets better over time, to be honest, and I think that's a lot of good work that's ongoing right at the moment. The other thing we're very concerned about and working closely with our colleagues on are methane emissions, and how do we quantify that? How do we capture it? How do we move beyond this world in which we're living today where we're simply estimating emissions? Can we actually develop technologies together that give us a more precise number on the emissions number? And we want to take that to regulators around the world, and perhaps we can begin to standardize the regulatory constructs around these important matters. Yeah,
and finally, we're obviously here at Gastech. How's it gone for you so far? And have you had a highlight of
It's fantastic. I mean, this is a wonderful event and not to be missed by anybody in our industry. As we've talked about in the past, it's a very efficient use of time. You see anyone who is interested in natural gas at this event, and it gives us an opportunity as players in this event to really bring together customers, potential customers, suppliers, contractors, engineers, you name it. They're all here, and it's a fantastic place to be.
Well, it's great to hear, and good to see everyone in person, you likewise, and hope you have a great rest of the show. And Dan, I really appreciate you popping down to our Energy Connect studio.
Thank you for having me.